Hi everyone, and welcome back to Project No Buy. In today's video, we're going to do the March finale of things I would regret buying and react to TikToks that I actually saved that I was directly influenced by prior to my first No Buy Year attempt. So before we jump into that, I think it might be a long one since I have quite a lot of saved TikToks. Hello, how are you? I'm just back from a concert. I didn't even take my jacket off and wearing my concert blacks. This is kind of a video about how I actually already have everything I want as well. And so this is kind of me taking a trip down memory lane and remembering when I wanted what I now have. Some of it in the literal sense. In some of these TikToks, there are things that I did end up buying and I now have, but also in a figurative sense, as far as that being a time where I was looking for these kind of aspirations to have, to lean into, to want, to kind of elevate, and in the form of saving these pieces of media, these short form bits of content on my TikTok account. And these are from the year 2023 for the most part, and there's a variety of different kind of life aspirations that are represented here. And as I confront these, the question arises of how could I still continue to want more? How do I continue to want more? I'm currently in a period of wanting less and kind of I can't quite say not at all, because there are things that kind of come across my fancy, but I don't interact with them in nearly the same way. And it almost feels like a different kind of wanting than I used to feel in the past, where it seemed impossible to not buy those things. So, the examples of things that I wanted to buy but didn't in March can hang out on a casual wish list and eventually be taken off, whereas that wasn't something I was able to do as easily before. And I might have to get into that in a more dedicated chat. Maybe I'll save it for the recap of March, because this video will probably already be long enough just going through the TikToks I have saved from 2023. Starting off with this first one, which is a bunch of crochet patterns. And so the creator is holding up her newest free crochet patterns: a sunflower pillow, a happy carrot, a daisy pillow. And, for obvious reasons, part of the reason I saved this is because of the free crochet patterns. I wanted to have access to the patterns for when I was ready to maybe start any of these crafts. Now, at the time, I was not crocheting. I was not actively crocheting. I had not crocheted anything. I have been a knitter before in my youth. My grandmother taught me how. And, when I was between the ages of maybe 8 and 16, I would knit scarves and things, scarves, hats, kind of small projects. And I had never done crochet before and not ventured back into knitting either, for the most part. And so this was purely aspirational. I didn't have any supplies. I may have purchased the kind of kits that I made this animal from. There's kind of a brand that does these crochet kits that I did impulsively purchase several of in 2023. And so I have yet to complete all of those kits. And here I was kind of saving these patterns for crochet things. I also purchased a pattern for a cardigan that was made out of squares. That's also crochet, that I did not ever end up doing. It's still in my email, I think, of Etsy patterns. And I do hope to do it someday. But clearly I didn't need to be buying the stuff for it. There's no harm in saving a TikTok as far as having the access to the free patterns, but it's just kind of a window into where I was at as far as what I wanted to be doing compared to what I actually was doing and had time to be doing. So there's that. Fairly innocuous to start off with. And the next saved TikTok is a hair tutorial, 30 days of hair, day 2. So again, just fairly harmless. I just wanted to save this to have access to go back to and try the hairstyle. Have I actually tried this hairstyle? No. So a lot of this saved media doesn't even really get revisited until videos like this. And, again, we're starting off fairly innocuous. My problematic shopping habits may or may not have been kind of escalating in 2023, which might explain the impetus to do a no-buy in 2024. So maybe that's kind of what we'll see reflected here as well. Okay, so the next couple of saved TikToks are fashion related. So that is kind of delving into the categories of problematic shopping for me. So this first one is just a still image of an outfit that I currently have. And I think I already had most of these pieces at the time that I saved it, so I didn't necessarily go out and buy anything. I might not have had my loafers. I think I maybe got those in 2023 to be a more sturdy concert black shoe. So I don't tend to wear them casually or colloquially like this. But the track pants, I have something similar to. I have graphic t-shirts, I have sunglasses, earrings, and I do have loafers, although I would probably not wear this outfit with them. I might pair a colorful shoe, you know, like my red shoes or something like that with this outfit. But it was just saved for a little bit of outfit inspo. So again, not too influenced by anything that I could buy at this point. This next one is a video, Autumn is Calling, and it's kind of a transition. I think there's like a viral sound that went with this. And so we're getting the flashing of outfits across the screen. It's getting into a little bit more dangerous territory as far as being exposed to more outfits than I can possibly keep up with, as far as, you know, it's not just one still photo that I'm taking inspiration from. I have to kind of see the flash by of outfits, of more styles, more things to kind of pique my interest. Again, still fairly innocuous as far as no overt products being pushed in terms of like something featured or suggested. And it's still kind of just the rotating carousel of trendy outfits. And I do think a lot of these pieces are pieces that I have already. So watching it again, I do already have a gray blazer. I have basically the second to last outfit of a crew neck, gray crew neck and black jeans, and the leather pants. I already have some of those as well. And again, it's impossible to really focus on these outfits without pausing on them. And so there are other components that I don't have and or don't really match my style. I will say that in 2023, I think that's the year I ended up purchasing a long denim skirt, which is one of these outfits, as well as a dress similar to the black dress pictured here, which is a dress that I have since let go of because I really, really did not like the experience of wearing it. It didn't feel like me at all. It felt frumpy to me. It didn't feel like on me as it looks on this model, right? Like it didn't feel like this looks on her, on me, if that makes sense. It didn't give me this vibe. And so that was not a successful point of being influenced by just cumulative effect of seeing these outfits, I think. The next group of photos is POV, or Friends Are Into Fashion. This is one of the same creators that I shared in the fashion video where I just hashtagged fashion and reacted to what came up. So like I said, I don't think I followed this creator. I still see the plus sign here, which I think indicates that I didn't follow them, but I did consume content from this creator frequently. And so, you know, even back then I was a little bit cognizant about trying not to follow creators that would influence me too much, or, you know, just kind of going with the flow rather than becoming a disciple or whatever. But this series of pictures was hugely influential as far as things that I wanted to emulate. Again, I think this was the year that I got the yellow shoes. I have similar pants and button downs, and the effortless style that this person wears their clothes with is maybe even more what I wanted to emulate. And the other outfits I like as well, the friends that are referred to here. You know, I have similar skirts, midi kind of shiny skirts, dad shoes, cowboy boots, white t-shirts, you know, dare I say. I do like the fitted white tee. I know I said in previous videos that I don't like white t-shirts in general. The flower hair clip, I did buy some of those, and they don't work for me because I just have too much hair, and, you know, I could maybe do like a half up hairstyle, but they do work for some of my kids, so it wasn't a complete loss, and they are very happy to have them. But it's funny how I have so many things that are featured in this picture right here, and it can't be a coincidence, right? Like, how is all of that my genuine, authentic style? And what pieces of it would not be my style if I didn't see it around me, or on the internet, more to the point, because I don't really see it around me in real life. So let's go through the rest of these pictures. So again, I like these outfits. I have many of these items, some of which I bought because of seeing them in posts like these. Likewise, the next photo shares another girl wearing the yellow shoes, and the creator, I think Lara is the one on the right, wearing the blue shoes that I have a similar version of. And I definitely had the blue shoes before seeing any reference to them online, because my husband got them first and got me a matching pair. So that was not an influence purchase. But using the blue accessories is something that I started to do more and more. So matching blue, so she has a blue cap. I have hats. I don't wear them very much, so I don't really focus as much on the hats as accessories, but I do have other kind of blue handbags and other blue clothing, you know, blue tops, blue pants, leaning into the monochrome look, which is often something you see as fashion advice, right? Wear monochrome from head to toe. And would I be doing that if it wasn't for seeing the advice online? I don't know. I honestly don't really know. And is it noticeable? You know, is it kind of a part of my iconic style now? Partly because nobody in my real life does it. You know, yeah, it is. I get compliments when I do the all blue from head to toe look, and I do feel good in it. I feel represented. I feel kind of like an artist, right? It feels like something an artist would do, and that kind of feels like it's in harmony with my identity as a musician. And so there's that. You know, there's a little bit of a monochrome outfit here, actually, in the white. And I feel like it is kind of less of a statement when it's done in one color. Actually, the person in black is also wearing one color. And I guess, you know, like I said, it's not really as noticeable when it's all one color of a neutral: black, white, brown, gray. I feel like it's quite a statement in the bright blue or red or other colors like that. Yellow would be a statement. Anyway, next picture. We're having a repeat of the button down from the first picture, which I like. You know, love to see an outfit repetition, repeating. Dress pants, loafers, and looks like a matcha, glass of matcha. And again, the other person's outfit is nice too. There's a Chanel bag, but it's kind of an eclectic combination, right? It's not what you would expect. So it does feel more kind of individual fashion. And this is kind of what I wanted to emulate. A huge part of it is also the attitudes, the vibes, the location. I think they're based in Europe, these girls. And I think that's a huge part of it as well, the aspirational lifestyle, like I talked about in the earlier videos, reacting to makeup and fashion, what I actually want when I wanted to buy those things. The next photo has the big puffy bag, one version of which that I purchased on Mercari when I had seen. So the catalyst for actually me buying one was during my No Buy year 2024. I had already kind of wanted one on the fringes. You know, seeing pictures like this kind of made me think, oh, that's super cool. The large bag, it's kind of comical. It's kind of like irreverent in a way, like you can't take that seriously, but it's also very intentional because you can't not do that on purpose in a way with comically large bags. And the catalyst for me actually pulling the trigger was seeing it in person on a person in my town, in my city, and just being moved, right? Like I felt drawn to that style. And the rest of the person's outfit that I saw in person was something I could easily emulate. I think it was like an oversized sweater vest and jeans and wire-rimmed glasses, I think. I don't remember for sure, but I'm just kind of trying to pull from my mind as far as like what I thought I saw. And one of these big puffy bags. And it really gave me visions of myself in what I would consider a cool outfit with, you know, maybe neutrals, maybe one of my cooler pairs of jeans or whatever the sculptural fits, with a neutral shirt and the big blue puffy bag, right? As kind of a pop of color and a statement. And so I just browsed on the resale apps and there happened to be one listed, which again was kind of my kryptonite as far as if I can get it secondhand and it's therefore more sustainable, less impactful, cheaper. I can use the credit from things that I'm selling and decluttering, keep the revolving door going, kind of declutter two things in order to bring in one or whatever it is, you know, so it still feels like I'm making progress. Like all of the justification bells were ringing and I ended up getting one of these bags. And I do attribute this kind of content, not this exact photo necessarily, but this kind of content to the exposure and the influence that led to that purchase. Now, have I actually used that bag? Yeah, I have. I used it in my packing for the January travel. You can see it in the video of Unpack with me. And I did enjoy the experience of having it and using it. It probably will be my travel bag, but I don't generally use it enough in everyday life to warrant having it. And it is adjacent to a regret, although it is something that I do get a kick out of. Like I do, you know, the joy factor is there. It brings joy. And so it's not something that I can in good conscience call a true regret, because that would just be misrepresenting how I feel about stuff right now still, right? Like I still have stuff and love some of my stuff, right? As kind of icky as it feels to say it like that. And I can't say that I'm obsessed with my stuff, some of my stuff, even though that is fairly common, but I can say that I do have feelings of joy and fondness. You know, it's obviously not the same love as I feel for people and friends and family, but like there is a kind of level of passion for some of my material objects, which, you know, I'm not trying to debate whether or not that's a good or a bad thing in today's video. but you know, on some level it can be equated to maybe a love of beautiful things or being able to appreciate what I have, having gratitude, but it's not relegated to just things that I have, right? Like it can be things that I want, and that's why I acted on buying them so much in the past. And so that's the relationship I'm trying to work through right now, is keeping the appreciation for what I have and also being able to work through that feeling when it arises towards something that I could have but don't need, if that makes sense. So let's keep on going. Photo 5 out of 6 here. Again, with the dad shoes, the boots that kind of have that moto detail. I never really got into those, so it wasn't that per se. The jorts, I did at one point have a pair of jorts or long jean shorts, and they just don't work for me. So no, I'm either a short shorts or a no shorts type of person, and no shorts by which I mean pants or skirts. So I cannot be influenced to buy long denim shorts anymore. I was influenced to try them in the past though, because that was one of those things where my initial reaction, I talked about this in the fashion reaction video as well. The initial reaction was one of kind of visceral no or disgust, not at the people or the stylists or whoever was presenting them. It wasn't personal, but the thought of those shorts on me was an immediate no. I was repulsed. And I didn't listen to that feeling, right? I didn't respect my own style. I didn't respect my own intuition as far as how I would feel in those. And I thought, oh, I should give that a try. I should give it a chance. I should be open-minded. I should, lean into all these good, positive human things, right? Being open-minded and giving it a try and kind of experiencing the new or seeing it from a different perspective and trying to see it as something that could look good. All those are positive, but not necessary, and not necessarily positive in terms of preserving my own style and my own identity. And I have realized this now, or that's how I see it now. It might not be objectively right, but that's a view that's serving me better now than this other view that I used to have of, oh, I should try it even if I think I don't like it. It's really not necessary. It's really not. Nobody's forcing me to wear long denim shorts. That's no part of any uniform that I would ever come across. And so it doesn't serve me to start thinking that I would look good in long denim shorts. Concert black is another matter. And this is something that I realized that I was still kind of shopping for in 2024 in my no-buy year and immediately before that. And I actually don't look back on anything I added last year, even though it was no-buy, a no-buy challenge, with regret in this regard, because what I had realized up to this point is that I had been treating concert black like a different part of my wardrobe in terms of not having to represent my style, not having to feel like me, not having to have the same level of care in selecting the items. And that led to not really feeling like me when I was in a lot of the concert black pieces that I tried on in my try-on of 2024, when I was doing the initial wardrobe categorizing inventory declutter. And I think that was a category, right, where I have to wear this for work. Therefore, if I see it and I don't like it, I can or should maybe do the work to flip that around and do it in a way that I can like it. I don't have to do long denim shorts or long denim maxi skirts in a way that I like, because those are not part of my uniform. They're not something I have to wear. Whereas concert black, if I can find the version that feels the best or the most like me, then that serves a real purpose, because I wear that 2 or 3 times a week. And so that's where the difference lies, I guess, in the utility, the use value of making the trend or the thing that you see that you might not be drawn to work for you. Otherwise, just wear what you're drawn to, right? Unless it's in your dress code where you have to dress at a certain level of formality or a certain style or a certain whatever it is, and that you want to be more in line, do it your way, do it in your style, find some way where you can like it. It's not really productive to give in to the urge to try something when your first response, your first instinct was that it was not for you. And then kind of same with the vest that this other person is wearing. I did try a vest during my no-buy year. I think I talked about this in the April failures video, or one of the videos in April, where I was talking about how I wanted to try a black vest because I thought, again, in the concert black, maybe the trendiness of this vest will help me feel updated and feel cool and whatever I was looking to feel. I think this person looked very cool and chill and relaxed and kind of, what's the word? The long shorts look is kind of a nerdy look, but in a good way. if that makes sense. And so that's kind of the vibe I was getting from this, where it was like, you're so uncool that you're cool because you have a tailored vest and denim shorts. And that felt like something I could do, because being so uncool that you're cool is kind of a part of my style, right? Have you seen my sweater vest with all the colors? Like, that to me is like epitome of uncool but cool, like so uncool that it's cool. There's also the fact that it was handmade by my grandmother, which makes it eternally cool. But anyway, there's one more photo from this, and the last one is, again, the couple of friends, another button down with pants and loafers, trousers and loafers, sunglasses. Sunglasses make a big part in, they were something that I wanted but didn't buy, or did I buy any? I bought some for a Halloween costume, but they were something that I wanted to buy but didn't in 2024 a lot, right? They featured on those lists a lot. Sunglasses, they're another thing that I saw on these creators and thought I should be more into them. It was like, wow, look at the vibes of these creators. Look at their glasses. That's so cool. That's so fashion. That's so kind of, you know, intentional. They did their sunglasses, they did their hair, they did their earrings, right? Like, they changed the jewelry. Whoa, you know, like, I should do these things too. And there's no reason I can't, actually. You know, I have other jewelry, I just never tend to change my jewelry. There's like 3 pairs of earrings that I rotate through. So in theory, I could totally get by with just owning 3 pairs of earrings and only ever having bought 3 pairs of earrings. But that's not how it panned out. Like, I bought a bunch more pairs of earrings. I did a jewelry declutter. You can see, you know, all the pairs of earrings I have if you want to. But anyway, so lots of details in these fashion pictures. Let's move on. The next video is also fashion related. I didn't know who this was at the time. It's, I guess, Sofia Richie Grainge or something like that. Again, I still don't really know who it is, but I think this person is known for kind of being a rich girl, kind of a public figure rich girl. And I see the outfit, I think, is what I was saving this for, because it's so simple. I was kind of being drawn to more minimalist, more neutrals, more kind of stark contrast looks. And I think I do still like all those things. The bag is another interesting feature. It's black and studded, and I think that kind of small detail makes a big impact with the background of just black and white. It does look like the t-shirt has a logo on the back, a brand that is probably expensive, but I don't really know. And so the meaning of it is kind of lost on me. And again, not knowing who this was when I saved this TikTok, I didn't know that this person was wealthy. I just gathered that this was the person on the billboard, I guess. So maybe I just thought it was a model. But anyway, I had never heard of the brand on the billboard. I still have only heard of it through seeing influencer examples. So it's nothing, I don't have the associations I need to understand what is being communicated with this video, which is kind of what I was saying in the video about going to a car dealership and realizing that the things that you wear, you know, people at car dealerships are often dressed a particular way, the salespeople, the customers, whatever. The things that you wear can so easily be misinterpreted, basically. Like, the intention that you want to communicate may not actually be what people get out of what you are wearing. And so the fact that you can't control the perception, you can only control what you put in and your intention, but it can be totally misinterpreted, kind of muddies the waters as far as how much you should try or could try, or, you know, you can try as much as you want. And arguably some people think you should in order to communicate in the language of fashion and society. But the fact that it's able to be misinterpreted kind of makes it a little more meaningless to me, or makes it feel a little more absurd. And I just find more freedom in the ability to disengage because of that realization, right? Anyway, the next, I think it's a screenshot here, it might have been a video. Day 1 of crocheting nature-themed decor for my room, so another crochet inspiration. I really like this, actually. This is very interesting, very cool, very beautiful, and kind of in line with what I would like my space to look like, right? It's not actually how my space looks. I don't really have kind of cute decorations like this or a handmade vibe. You know, arguably my sign here is kind of handmade, but it is an element of fantasy style, I guess, that I could do, right? Like, I could get into crochet, I could maybe do more of this stuff. It's not that I'm against adding that to my life, but I look back on this and I definitely see that it was a fantasy self kind of manifestation in saving this kind of crafting content. More outfits of the week. Let's watch. So I actually have 2 by this creator. I'm not sure if they work at this store. That might make sense if they worked here and were just doing their daily outfits for work. And I would say that the style presented here is a mix of classic and trendy, or what's called classic, which is basically kind of maybe basic, neutral, standard rather than actual classics. But what I mean by that is there's things like white t-shirts, jeans, black and white, you know, skirts that have been in and out for a long time, denim shorts, button-down shirts, you know, things like this. I think these are versions of things that are always in style or always acceptable. Maybe all of fashion is like that, actually. It's just a matter of like riding the waves of which items are being pushed by the companies at us out of the selection of classics that are always available. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. Is there anything new in fashion ever? I actually think I've seen people say that before, so I think it's a very not hot take. But I guess that's kind of what's being shown here, is that all of these outfits that were very trendy at the time. And there are some trend pieces that signify the time, like that Zodiac shirt. I do have it for my Zodiac year. And that was a present that I gave to myself in 2024. So I bought it for myself in 2023, opened it in 2024. And I do remember seeing it in this video prior to making the purchase. Not immediately, you know, I don't think it was a direct influence per se. And maybe what I'm learning is that looking back at these, a lot of my purchasing was not as direct as some of the examples. And it's been a long time since I ever bought anything off of anything like a must-haves video. But this kind of content that I was influenced by is not the kind of content that makes me mad like those must-have videos do. I think I already did a video kind of reacting to must-haves, is what it turned out to be. And it was really hard to do because the language was inflammatory to me. The method of presentation was kind of, you know, I just can't get behind that kind of content. It's really stuff-centric, stuff-focused, calling things that nobody needs a must-have, and that's just, it doesn't sit well with me. And so there have been times that I did purchase things based on those videos before. You know, I didn't lie about it in that video, but I think they were instances like, first of all, I was influenced more by that on YouTube. So it'd be long form creators sharing what they liked on Amazon or whatever. You know, it felt like more of a connective source for that kind of stuff, not the short form TikToks. You know, I don't think any of those are saved here. We'll find out. I haven't gone through all of these today yet. But the things I was influenced much more by were kind of indirect, right? Like I would see it on something like this and then eventually make the decision to buy it for an occasion, for a birthday where it made sense, right? With the logo, with the horoscopes. I would see the combination of outfits with things that I currently have, you know, the jeans, the boots, the jackets, the skirt, the shirt, the shoes. And then sometimes what might happen is that I would see another piece, right? Like, let's look at the second to last outfit here with the skirt. I had a skirt, I had a tube top, and maybe I would think that I needed a hair bow or something to match or make this outfit kind of more verbatim. And that's maybe a silly example. I didn't actually go do that, but that's the kind of thing that I would see this and then go do, right? I can recreate that last outfit. My shoes with the stripes are blue, and, you know, therefore maybe I would shop for a blue hair accessory. You know, there'd just be things like that that would cause me to spiral into the shopping mentality of, ooh, my interest has been piqued, and using what I have to create this feels sustainable, and if I buy this extra accessory, I can get more wear out of what I have, or all the narratives floating around would start conspiring against me, or, you know, I would make them conspire. I'm taking responsibility, you know, don't get me wrong, but that's just a little bit of how my mentality was back in those days. Okay, let's see. I took a screenshot of this segment of saved TikToks because there are so many about the particular handbag that I did end up getting, and I got it twice. So I got it kind of similarly to the middle saved picture here. So I have a version in black and a version in brown, and I watched so many of these, saved so many of these because it was kind of doing research for an eventual purchase. And, you know, I made the eventual purchase. This is an instance of I already have what I wanted because I actually bought what I saw and kind of had the feeling that I was going to buy it, kind of had the plan that I was going to buy it. I was trying to put it off. I was telling myself, oh, the black bag would make a great work bag. I should save it for when I get a full-time job. If I get a full-time job, maybe I can motivate myself to practice by telling myself I can reward myself with this treat of the bag. Obviously, it didn't work. I got the bag. I don't have a job. So, you know, yay.
I do want to make it
clear as well that having a full-time orchestral job is not 100% dependent on my efforts and preparation. There is an element of luck involved, and it's largely out of my control as to whether I will ever succeed in this, because it is kind of a competition. And so, there's a little side note for context. It's not as if I could just do the work and be assured of getting some kind of job in this field. There's your PSA to not use stuff or material goods as a reward for accomplishing goals, because that's not a great association to have. And, I could be demoralized every time I think about that now, every time I use my bag without having the job. And then I think I was also validated in my need to have both colors and both sizes because of seeing these videos, right? There's one here, like I said, that I copied. Not exactly, because I think I got the different shade of brown of the small one, but seeing somebody have both of these made it okay, therefore, for me to consider having both of them too, right? Somebody else out there did the same thing, so therefore I'm not the crazy person for over-consuming these handbags just because I like them and want to have both of them. And have I actually ever worn the brown one out in public? No. Am I actually, is there a part of me that's actually worried about rotating through all of my handbags because I don't want everybody at work to know that I have 15 handbags or whatever it is? Yeah. So I do kind of intentionally not wear all my bags, even though that's kind of silly because I clearly am somebody who likes bags. I do get comments at work about having a large shoe collection, and it does bother me a little bit, but it doesn't bother me enough to get rid of my shoes, if that makes sense. I did kind of talk about that in the video of justifications, I think, about how I do think that 30 pairs of shoes is a lot now, whereas I kind of thought it was a lot, but not really before, right? Like my meter has been recalibrated. And it's the same with these bags. I kind of don't want people to know that I have almost every bag that this company has ever made. And the one person at work who knows about these bags has a couple of them as well. And that person would be the only person who would know like what price range they're in, how many designs they have, that they were all by the same designer. And we have talked about it before, so I have already shared that I do have a collection, and they would know that, it wouldn't be a point of judgment per se, or it would be a silent judgment maybe. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people do judge me for kind of being overtly interested in fashion and stuff. As far as fashion goes, it's not just that I'm interested in fashion, but that I clearly have a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes, a lot of bags. And there are other people who are kind of into fashion as well, but in maybe slightly different ways, in more eclectic ways, or in ways that maybe aren't as memorable. I do hypothesize that if I had shoes that were all neutral colors, then I wouldn't get comments on them. It's only when I've worn shoes that are different colors for a consecutive week, like Monday I wear yellow shoes, Tuesday I wear the red ones, Wednesday I wear the silver ones or whatever. That's when I start getting the comments of like, wow, your shoe collection must be huge or whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, kind of is. Like, what can I say? I like shoes. I never get rid of shoes. So anyway, moving on. That's the story of how I influenced myself into buying not one of these bags, but two of them, and how I would spend so much of my free time looking at aspirational presentations of this particular bag, which only fed my desire to acquire it for myself and led to throwing reason out the window and just pulling the trigger, buying both of them. I think there was also an impending price increase. This was at the end of 2023 that I brought both of those ones into my life. And so there was an impending price increase. So I was like, oh, I better buy them now before they go up and I won't buy any more bags ever again. And yeah, I basically just talked myself into justifying the purchase of these bags, and seeing this content definitely didn't help. It was enabling. Okay, so here's actually one of the videos that includes the bag, and it's a work outfit referencing specific pants and a specific top, going for the monochrome look again, very stylish. A designer belt, like high-end designer belts, and the bag in question, the very trendy shoes. This person has them in black and white, again, enabling multiple pairs of the same thing for viewers of this content. And again, that bag in particular was very, very trendy. It was everywhere. And I've never seen one in real life aside from the ones I have. So I'm very okay with it. I'm not mad about it trending because it doesn't affect me. And I objectively think that this brand of bag is beautiful. So I would love to see more of them, right? It wouldn't make me mad if everybody had one because I genuinely like it. And again, like this may not be the content you came for. You know, this is me talking about something I like, unironically and uncritically perhaps. But at the same time, in my real life, I am seeking that balance between enjoying what I have, enjoying things that I find beautiful, and being critical about it and not letting it affect the things that I spend my time and money on, that I buy, in other words. And so that's where we are. The next thing I have here is a series of images. So this is girl therapy. And so I'm not sure if all of these are under the same heading. One of these might be a day in the life. I think they are the same creator, so I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but I'll go back to the first picture. And it's basically a bunch of pink things. You know, this is the aesthetics that I was consuming, the aesthetic presentation that I was consuming at the time. And for years, I guess, a couple of years leading up to this, this is the reason that I wanted the pink lotion container, right, of this video here. And the reason that I had gone into that mentality, into that forest of comparing aesthetics, of thinking this pastel pink one is better than this white one, and thinking that it was worth something, worth maybe $58 is the cost of the lotion. And I think the white one is maybe $10 to $20, right? Like, I think it might be a multi-pack, so maybe the value of the one is $10, so worth a $48 markup to have the pastel pink version of essentially the same product. But looking at this type of content with the elevation of pastel pink as an aesthetic, as something to aspire to, of all these products that you can get to align yourself with the appearance of this, that's what led me into normalizing the pursuit of the pastel pink lotion container and curated bathroom. Everything in my makeup collection being curated like this, you know. It's not like that for me. My makeup drawer is not curated, and it never was. Like, I never got to that point of success or whatever, but it did appeal, and it still kind of appeals, if I'm honest, right? Like, the thought that if I just buy the pink version of everything, then I'll have this, or whatever color, insert whatever color here, although pink is the most popular color that comes up on these things, the girly kind of pastel aesthetic, the Pilates princess or whatever, you know, it's like oftentimes pink. But yeah, this is why. This is why I was in there. We've got flowers, also pink. We've got sitting at a lake or some kind of water feature like this. Again, lots of little products in here. There's the Apple AirPod Max headphones. There's a hair clip that I have the exact same one of, right? I was seeing this online, so I bought it. It wasn't necessarily a direct influence, but it was just repeated exposure and me thinking that I liked it and me thinking that I could curate this pastel pink aesthetic by buying repeated little trinkets in that little pink. Could I recreate this photo if I took my pink lotion, my pink hair clip, whatever else I have? Sure, but would it feel like this to me? No. You know, am I going to have the nails, the rings, the hand lotion, the magazine, the travel, you know, the coffee, whatever it is? No, I'm not going to have all that. And so it's not going to be the same. Next photo is some pink shoes and a nice coffee and toast experience. Looks European. I don't know where, you know, I'm just making a judgment call based on how the bread and cheese looks. So again, aspirational. Got some nice gray trousers paired with pastel pink. Pleasing color combination. Time with friends is nice as well. Aspirational. A photo of a bunch of dead leaves, but featuring the iconic bag, the trendy viral purse, with the glimpse of those pink things inside of it, and some UGG shoes, jeans, and, you know, again, kind of everyday moments of aspiration, things you could buy. The creator looking into a mirror with curlers in, again, at some kind of vanity setup with a bunch of brushes, a viral oil product, I'm not exactly sure which one that is, a pink makeup valise. Is that how you say that word? Going on an airplane, again with a little pink halo, taking a bath, driving somewhere, looks like autumn, Gilmore Girls. I have never seen that show, actually, with, again, a bunch of trendy things, trendy tchotchke type things in the video. A very trendy brand of sweatshirt that I don't have. I was not influenced. Even back then, I could not be influenced to want something that had the name of the brand emblazoned on the chest of it, you know, like as a graphic. Like, that was too much for me. But the pink cup, the candle, right, with the little spheres making up a cube, like that I've seen everywhere. I don't have one, but it wouldn't surprise me if I had bought one at the time. The cloud tray, like, again, very viral item. Let me know if you have any of these things in the comments below. I would love to know if you have that little cube candle or the cloud tray, the whatever lip product is in there. I've already shared that I do have the hair clip, so that's my confession. Let me know if you've seen Gilmore Girls too. Should I watch it? Anyway, The next slide is of Ugg boots. I bought some of those in my no-buy year, and so I could have recreated this moment, although mine would have been pink and blue. A nice meal out, so restaurant pasta. So, incidentally, I had restaurant pasta recently. It's something I rarely order at a restaurant because I feel like it's cheap to make yourself and relatively simple as far as preparation, and it feels like kind of a waste of a meal out. But I actually didn't even order the pasta. I tried some of my friends and it was miraculous. And every time I have good restaurant pasta, I think, wow, I really should order this more. And that was all after 2023. This is recently. So I look at this now and I think, yeah, that's aspirational. A coffee setup. So a nice little espresso milk frother. Again with the pink. The pink kind of looks like a handmade clay vase with little flowers in it. This is the girl therapy slide with, again, the pink and the designer bag, the coffee, the AirPods, the lifestyle. Where is that? I can't read the text, but it looks like Europe again. You know, again, the lettering on the sign, which has somebody who lives in America who kind of feels stuck in America. Europe is aspirational in itself. Like, again, that might be a very American attitude. I do have UK citizenship, so I can go there. I can live there. And I lived in New Zealand, so I'm not speaking purely as an American who's never lived abroad. But I do think that Europe is kind of an aspirational thing for many Americans, North Americans. Again, I'll just speak for myself, but that is an aspect of seeing this glimpse into that world on social media as well. A couple of girls in their pink sweaters by the sea, by the ocean. Very aspirational as well. I keep on saying it. I'm a broken record. Very aspirational. I have that exact hair bow. Again, confession there. And I have the hair clip from this creator, have the hair bow from this creator. I don't remember being directly influenced, you know, not seeing this picture and going to look for the hair clip or anything like that. But when I saw that hair clip on whatever website it was with the hair clips, whatever, the bow and the clips, I may have subconsciously recalled this and wanted to be buying this feeling. Some pink shoes, again, kind of a higher end brand, I think. I'm not super familiar. A bag of Dior makeup products, it looks like. A matcha, maybe the most accessible thing we've seen so far. It's just the cups of coffee and glasses of matcha. And then the makeup bag, again, with all the pink products. It's interesting that makeup products are pink. And I guess human features are pink. Is that why people like pink so much? Because lips are pink and cheeks go pink? Like, is it a natural preference for that color? Girl therapy. Okay, let's move past that kind of narrative so that we can get to the next photo carousel. There's kind of a lot. I think this is the last one, the last photo carousel actually. And this creator, again, is kind of a fashion and style icon. For me in particular, I would guess, and we'll kind of explain that and break it down as we go through these photos that I saved. And I think another point of relatability for this creator is that, if I recall correctly, they are a parent as well. And in some posts, they do have their kids. Let's try to whip through these. First outfit has purple pants and t-shirt, graphic tee, denim jacket, vintage tees and big pants always. I agree. And so this is kind of speaking my language as far as what I like, if not exactly the right colors for me. Wearing my husband's t-shirts always. I agree with that too. Maybe not in a literal sense, but I do wear my husband's pants and the camouflage ones and occasionally the flight jacket. And so I can resonate with that too. And, you know, the relatability here maybe makes some of the other aspects that are less relatable, you know, the designer bag, the shoes, the tattoos, the things that I don't have, they kind of are brought into the realms of relatability to me by the rest of it being relatable, if that makes sense. So here's a woman who wears her husband's regular t-shirts and carries a high-end designer bag. And so it's kind of like, oh, should I consider that too? Maybe I could be like that as well and not be pretentious for having a designer bag, which is kind of how I used to think of it, how I still kind of, I don't think it's pretentious per se, but I do think it's not how I want to spend my money. And so luckily I wasn't convinced, luckily for the sake of my wallet. I mean, not luckily for any other reasons, because it's not bad to have a designer bag. If it brings you joy, like I was saying, like some of my things bring me joy, I don't think that's a bad thing, and you can enjoy that. But just for the sake of my own finances, you know, my income bracket does not accommodate designer bags. So I'm glad I was never convinced that that could be okay for me. The next outfit is a dress and a bag and purple shoes. I am not a huge fan of this outfit, but I do like to see kind of the color combinations that are less standard. Again, with the bright green shoes, jeans, and a t-shirt. And I guess I do something similar with the bright blue and bright red. The next outfit is the vest again, jeans and a basket bag. And again, seeing the vest over and over is what made me want to try the vest. I've realized the vest is not for me, and I will not even be trying to thrift one because it's just probably not going to work. If I see one, you know, if the thrifting gods put the perfect vest in front of me and I try it on and I like it, then, you know, maybe that's an option, but I'm not actively looking for one. Definitely not this year. This is a no-buy year, but even beyond. Like, I don't have it on my radar. Let's see, fun-looking jeans and another t-shirt. Love fun-looking jeans. I mean, so do I. Maybe not this fun. This is a little too fun for me. But is this what kind of pushed me in the direction of the sculptural jeans? The world may never know. Aha! This is a very me outfit, joggers and heels. And again, I could have copied and pasted this outfit. I have a blue version of these pants. I have a version of the t-shirts. I have a version of a colorful bag and little heels, right? And so I've even worn them like this, kind of ironically, in a video talking about how I used to be more insecure about things like wearing heels as a tall person, and now I'm not. I wore kind of a version of this outfit with joggers and heels in that video, possibly inspired by this photo. Outfits lately, again, bold color pairing with orange and chartreuse. Another outfit with touch of pink and a matching kind of set. The big heart necklace was something I was interested in. I do see that on here now. And I don't have one, didn't buy one. I did buy a locket though, like an oval locket. I think it was in my jewelry declutter video. And that was as a result of seeing the big puffy hearts and the big kind of pendants. A matching set, purple. I would not wear this, but I do like the look. Again, matching set. This one's very designer, not really a fan. Airport attire, again with the long denim shorts and the boots with the little moto ring detail, both a no from me. This is another outfit that I kind of like more, with the colorful pants, the oversized t-shirt, the kind of odd bag. Is that a bag? Little heart thing there. And statement sunglasses. And that was it. So again, this was very much outfit inspo for me. And it kind of, all the same things I said about the other outfit carousel apply, right? The little accessories, the relatability, the other aspects of aspiration are what would have gotten me running to purchase things, maybe not directly influenced, but as a result of seeing this kind of content. Book recommendations for hot girls who want to be more educated is the next video, so let's watch.
100% guarantee from me that if you read even a couple of these books, you will be sexier, you will be smarter, and you can argue with any man that approaches you at the bar. First up is Notes of an Undocumented Citizen.
Oh my goodness, so fighting words there. You will be sexier, you will be smarter, and you can argue with any man that approaches you at the bar. Who wouldn't want that, right? I obviously wanted that at the time that I saved this, and so I'm kind of guilty of always looking for book recommendations or always being open to them. And so that's how I end up buying so many books, because I'm also not opposed to buying and owning books. I am during this year, and I am trying to pivot towards waiting, using the library, finishing what I have before acquiring anything new, acquiring at the pace that I can consume as well. And so, you know, let's see a few of these recommendations, but we probably don't need to watch the whole thing.
18, and when I say that this book actually changed the trajectory of my life, it might sound dramatic, but I bought this book and I didn't really have any idea what it was about. Really, the week that I finished it, I applied and went back to school and I got my first master's, all because of this book. You don't know a lot about the US immigration system or what it is to be an undocumented citizen. This book is a really good place to start.
Okay, and she's starting really hot out of the gate with the book that changed her life, made her apply to school again. And, you know, I'm not trying to say that it didn't change her life, but to share it in this way. And I don't know if this person has this book linked, you know, on her bio or anything like that. I can't go look because I downloaded all these already. And, you know, does it make a difference if she's making money off of it? You know, it's still probably a true story. But to be told this and then kind of, you know, if somebody tells you a book changed their life, it is kind of more of an endorsement. And I think I'm guilty of it myself with the book Braiding Sweetgrass. I've made a couple of videos focused around that book. And it's true, it changed my life. But I may have inadvertently influenced a lot of you to want to buy that book by giving it that kind of review. And that's basically what happens here, right? When anybody says, this changed my life, it can be true. And I'm not saying we shouldn't share these ideas, but I guess we should just be more careful about how we receive them and still be true to our own values if our values are taking a break from buying books until we finish what we have, using the library, not feeding a shopping habit through other avenues like books, if that's not our problem category. And then we still need to stay true to our values, even if this is a life-changing book. we can wait to have our lives changed if we believe in determinism or whatever. Anyway, we'll read the book when the time is right for us anyway. Maybe we want to stick to our belief in free will and the idea that we can choose to buy the book or not buy the book. But, maybe there's a universe where you don't buy the book until it's the right time, and that's when you read it. Okay, we're getting into the weeds. Let's move on. Okay, so this next one is just a TikTok set to a Christmas song. I think it was around Christmas 2023 of a gingerbread chai latte. And there's a brand of cup and a brand of probably the products in there too. It was just a very aesthetically pleasing video. A little gingerbread cookie, nice little treat. This is the same TikTok that I shared in the collecting video because of the actual outfits. And, it was about how people collect art and statues and dolls or whatever. And this person collects clothes. But I saved it for some of these specific outfits. The printed sweaters, the mini skirt and boots, the crew neck with the turtleneck, and the headband. I think I was kind of inspired to recreate these with what I have again, and that's kind of why I was saving these. Again, not saying that it was free from influence because I was trying to use what I have, but that's where we were at here. Now we have a TikTok about books. So this is a creator who keeps track of all the books she reads with this little printer. She prints the covers and puts them in a little book. And yeah, I wanted to do this. That's why I saved this. I don't have the little printer. I maybe knew myself well enough to know that I wouldn't stick to that. I've had the journal that I've got for years, literal years, and I tried to kind of pimp it out a little bit. I have stickers on there because I thought I should in order to like it and use it enough. And I have schedules in here from, 2023 goals. And I later amended that to 2024 with pretty much the same list. I literally just crossed out the 3 and put a 4. My no-buy rules for 2023, because I was trying to do that back then, failing. And, this is something that I've had since probably even before that. So I'm not a notebook person. I'm not somebody who can stick to this kind of little project, nor should I buy a little Canon printer to do so. But it does look really cute, and I was momentarily captivated by it. I have a couple of recipes here. So if you need to eat more plants, some recipes with chickpeas and potatoes that look really, really delicious. So cauliflower, chickpeas, potatoes. Again, this is fairly innocuous, right? I don't really view it in the same way to be influenced to consume a healthy meal or something that I could cook. And so I don't actually see very many products in this video. I do have that lemon squeezer and, maybe not that exact one. I do have one of those because I saw it online and thought it would be easier to use that than to try to do it by hand. So that's not something I would consider an influenced purchase. It was something that I was made aware of through content like this. But, there's different categories of influence buying, right? Positive and negative. Here's another recipe for something with chickpeas. I guess I was on a chickpea kick. And again, it looks delicious. Maybe I will be inspired to make some of these. All right, the next one is back to clothes. It's that kind of trend that was going around. If an outfit's not interesting by color, it's got to be interesting by shape. If it's not, then it's texture, and then it's got to be color. So again, playing with these different inspirations, again featuring the trendy bag, all kinds of different inspirations for different looks that I could create, sometimes with the addition of one of these accessories. So, dangerous territory, or it was for me back then, because I didn't have that strong sense of personal value and conviction to stick with them. Personal values and maybe personal style a little bit as well. I had lost my way. All right, the next one is makeup. How to be better at makeup in 2024.
First thing is first is skin prep is not optional. I don't care if you're lazy, you need to prep your skin. If you don't like moisturizers, get a spray. Get a spray that is gonna hydrate and give you that glass dewy look. Always do something to your brows. You do not need to do the laminated look like everybody, or you do not need to pencil your brows in like 2008.
Skin prep is not optional. So I was listening to people tell me this. And now, a year later, or a year and a half later, or whatever it is, I am looking back and saying to myself, why did I use all this? Because I thought I should. I thought I should because of stuff like this, right? Skin prep is not optional. I'm afraid I beg to differ. It's optional for me. And for everybody else out there, it is optional, okay? Gotta get into my own brain here and unlearn the narratives that I fed to myself.
But just make them look neat. At least just fill in the holes and add a little gel to them. A nice groomed brow just makes you already look so much more put together.
Again, always do something to your brows. No, I don't need to do anything to my brows. And again, I hesitate to say this because I know there will be cases, right? There'll be people or, you know, legitimate cases or what I would consider legitimate cases. Again, I don't want to project value judgments. So take it all with whatever you need to take it with. There will be cases of people who might have lost their eyebrows for medical reasons and maybe prefer to draw on their eyebrows. There might be people who have maybe sparse spots or different colored eyebrows that prefer to do something with their eyebrows. If you have normal eyebrows and have been told that your eyebrows aren't good enough or aren't beautiful, like that's a problem to me. You don't need to be doing anything with your eyebrows. And even to some extent, abnormal eyebrows, right? Like I don't think anybody should feel the need to do anything with their eyebrows, with their face, with their makeup. And so people like this, again, not demonizing her, not saying it's her fault or she's doing anything wrong, just saying that seeing this rhetoric, this language thrown around, always do something with your eyebrows. Like the eyebrows frame the face. You must give them attention. It's just a recipe for rampant overconsumption, in my opinion. And yes, I took it there. I didn't have to take it to the over-consuming side of it. You can just have one eyebrow product. In fact, I've never over-consumed eyebrow products. So, okay, you know, so there. But in terms of everybody thinking they should be doing something where they might not. And I guess, okay, I'm going to take back what I just said. Me consuming one eyebrow product was me over-consuming eyebrow products because I don't need that. I thought I needed it. I was watching this stuff that told me I should do it or that I need to do something with it. And now I'm mad about it. And some people are probably going to see it and think I'm just salty about it and it's all my own fault anyway. But you know what? Let's continue to watch this. See what else I need to be doing.
Sometimes less is more. Work in layers and start applying a small amount of product first and then build up your coverage. With a brush, the swiping motion is going to disperse the product, but you want to pat that product into your skin to make it look the most natural. Doesn't matter if it's a sponge or a brush, just pat everything into the skin. When working with products like concealer, sometimes less is more. Again, work in layers. You can always add more if you're not satisfied with the coverage. Also, applying your concealer in these areas will lift your face.
Again, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a sponge or brush, but probably shouldn't use your hands. Like, that's not an option. The thing that's free and available to everybody is not an option. Funny how that is.
When you are contouring your face, actually put your contour where you would think your blush would go, because this is going to really help lift the face. You want to make your nose look smaller, contour here, here, and here. I also always bring my bronzer in my eyelids because it just brings the look all together. Again, patting motions to blend your product. Blend your contour into your hairline so it looks very seamless. When it comes to contour colors, a warmer tone is going to make you look more sun-kissed, and a cooler tone is going to make you look more sculpted.
And again, there's kind of the, if you want to make your nose look smaller, like implying that that would be something that people want to do, and kind of therefore implying the opposite, you know, that a large looking nose is not the ideal.
Blush placement is going to go right above that contour line and blending upwards, but I like to also blend on the apple of my cheek. You can also blend it a little into the eye to kind of just tie it all together. Before you set your eyes, make sure you blend out all the creases or else you will set the creases. If you enjoy the dewy look, only set under your eyes. When you're lining your lips, overline only on the cupid's bow and right here. And for the rest of the lip, you're going to follow your natural lip shape. This is going to give you a very youthful, pouty lip. I always say gloss if you're feeling fun and lipstick if you're feeling serious. Adding a balm or liquid highlighter to your eyes is the easiest eyeshadow you'll find. Very minimal effort, and it also makes the look extremely glowy and youthful. I also love adding this to the cheeks and like any high points on your face, like the nose. And just like that, you're going to be a pro in 2024 on how to do your makeup and perfect it every single time.
Okay. So again, in regards to my last comment, in regards to something like a small nose, it might be something that, you know, if you out there have a larger nose and are insecure about it and looking at me being like, oh, people shouldn't feel bad about having big noses. And, you know, you might be thinking, but you don't have a big nose. You don't get it. Everybody has something. that they don't love about themselves, or that doesn't fit the societal norm for beauty at any given time, right? You might be the standard for this year, but next year it's going to be something else. And so there will be something. In my specific case, I am very tall. And there would have been a time of my life where if there was like height reduction surgery, I might have considered it and actually gone through with it. And this would have been the result of feeling like being tall was not normal, feeling like being this tall was not desirable, feeling like it made me weird or unattractive, or, boys wouldn't want to date me because I was taller. There's all kinds of narratives that feed the idea that we should change these things about ourselves. And, I'm kind of deciding whether to keep my cards close or to lay them all out, right? Because I do think that on some level, plastic surgery procedures to change the body are mostly a result of society and not innate desire to look a certain way. And as I speak it out loud, I don't really feel like this is a hot take, but I do feel like for people out there who have gone through it and experienced it and, firmly stand behind their experience and how they feel with their enhancements, it's going to be probably a very hot take, I guess. Like people don't want to be told that they've been coerced into doing something, or they were influenced, or that they wouldn't have done it if they XYZ, right? People will insist that they still would have done it. They feel better. It's, their own choice, their own bodies. And yeah, to do something with your own body is your choice. Like, I'm not against plastic surgery existing, but I would posit that the reason people get it for the most part, most of the time, if it's not causing a legitimate medical issue, is because of society and the perceptions that society has placed on certain attributes. And so I am speaking as somebody who at some point would have fallen into that because of how society perceives tall women. And I am so happy that I did not fall into that. And, I'm not trying to make this a parallel to anybody else's journey, right? But I question these motivations and the capacity to be influenced in matters of, at this point, a medical nature, right? When you undergo a surgery like that, it becomes something medical, something that could impact quality of life if something goes wrong, could even result in not being alive anymore in extreme cases. But I feel like surrounding ourselves with examples of this, you need to do something with your brows. You have to, if you want to make your nose look smaller, do this. And not entirely doing it in a knowing way. When we're young and vulnerable, it's not something we necessarily know that we should look out for. When we're just scrolling on the social media, the algorithms kind of try to target us with things that they think we'll like. And how much control do we have over the rabbit hole that we go down, right? Like we can say we're not interested. We can kind of critically think about every piece of content we see. But at the same time, we're shown these things. Once we see them, we can't unsee them. And so we don't have a choice about what we actually see in the first place. Anyway, I don't know why I saved that video. Like, I have no idea. But there it was in my saved videos of 2023. And I don't like it. I don't like a lot about it. Nothing personal to the creator. They're beautiful and, whatever, but let's move on. Another fashion video. This one is very long, so I might not play the whole thing. This is a Sunday Scroll series from a fashion creator.
It's the last one of 2023. Hit the save button. Let's get right into it. Red was the hero color of the fall, and it's going to continue into the winter. Love the pops of red in this outfit and the oversized sort of wool coat. Love the texture and the pockets on this knit and the skirt, how it matches. Grace always gets it right and adds in her unique personal style. I wonder how this conversation goes. You want to wear polka dots today? Sure, I'll wear the skirt. You wear the pants. I think both of these are so cool. We love a statement bag, and especially when it's big like this, big bag energy, and I love this cape coat. This dreamy suede hobo bag and how it matches back to the gorgeous, like fluffy, oversized knit. Love. Get in my closet. This coat is so special, and I like that it's paired with like a smaller bag. It makes the coat the real hero piece of the outfit. 2023 was certainly the year for the row bag. I linked an option that is $160 and less on my latest LTK post.
Okay, this is what I would call, I'm going to silence the sound right here. This is what I would call being influenced from great examples of style and fashion, in my opinion, okay? And so she's talking about the big bag energy, and I found that amusing and also emulating worthy of emulating. And there are so many great examples of styles I would like to emulate here, of vibes I would like to emulate. And I think that is the danger of somebody in the mindset of being generally influenceable and kind of being on the space of looking for these things. You know, there's so many fine pieces, so many really, you know, satisfying pieces of fashion here, satisfying bags. The shape and drape of the clothing are really nice. And the temptation is to look for pieces of it that I can bring into my own life. And in this case, it's kind of less about the vibes, less about the surroundings, and more about the focus on the clothing. Because like I said, these are like the prime examples of it being done well, or in a way that I like, in a way that speaks to me. And these are the things, you know, here's the long denim shorts again. These are the examples that would make me think, oh, I should run out and go try that, because look how great it looks on this person. Look at this like demonstration of style. And that's what I want, to demonstrate style in this way. Like, and do I actually want it, or do I just really, really like to see it? You know what I mean? Like, that's the confusion I was having. And I think there's a little bit of both still, right? It doesn't have to be one or the other. But I recognize now that a lot of this is stuff I really, really like to see, but don't need to partake in. Even if I do like it and eventually might want to consider adding like the tufted piece or the tutu skirt or something like that. It doesn't have to happen now, and it doesn't have to happen without more consideration, more reflection. It can happen slowly. It can happen when the time is right, you know, depending on what philosophy we're using here. And I could be inspired and moved by seeing this without also then being moved to consume or to look for some approximation of that in a direct material good for my own life. But yeah, seeing something done well can be very inspirational and influential. This is the fun of fashion, really. And you can kind of see the contrast when there's other people in the pictures. Like, there's a contrast between somebody who dressed intentionally with care to every detail and the people in the background who maybe didn't do that. I get joy out of seeing these things, so I guess that's part of it too, right? The joy that I get seeing that feather skirt makes me kind of want to prolong it by owning a feather skirt with feather detail, rather. Okay, I think this really might be the last one now. This is a bullet journal. So I saved this in December 2023. Let's see. Okay, so she's just doing the monthly spreads, the reflection of what's actually in here, and kind of different pages. So there's a TikTok tracker, YouTube, social media, Instagram. So obviously somebody aspiring to be a content creator. That might have been a reason that I saved it as well, knowing that I was going to embark on a public no-buy year on the social media. So, you know, there's the aesthetic layouts, the stickers on the notebook again, which I thought I should try. I thought I should emulate. I didn't buy the stickers, but they were just kind of incidental. And, you know, they don't really do a lot for me, I'm going to be honest. No shade to you if you like stickers. I'm not trying to yuck on your yum, as they say, but yeah, this is something that was less authentic for me that I tried to make more authentic for me, and it just wasn't. The final video I have here is a single outfit spotlight, and it's got those leopard pants that were very trendy, I think starting from about the end of 2023, and they just kind of exploded last year, at least as far as what I was aware of, what I heard people talking about. And I think this is the type of video that would be very dangerous because it's focusing on the stuff, it's focusing on one outfit, focusing on the positive joy in that one outfit and all the little details in it as well. And this is content that I made a little bit of myself in my efforts to enjoy my stuff. But I also realized that enjoying my stuff doesn't look like this for me all the time. And, you know, this is more attention than I want to be spending on enjoying my stuff, appreciating my stuff, even cultivating gratitude. So this is the kind of display of stuff that used to influence me in ways, and I used to participate in because I thought it was the best way to engage with and appreciate the things I have. And I have since kind of moved away from in favor of just using my stuff and trying to appreciate it in real life for what it brings me, how it serves me, how I feel going through my everyday. Okay, that was a lot. I basically took snippets from everything that I had saved, and I think I had, 138 things saved, so it was a good portion, you know, representing percentages from everything. There's also a lot of music and a lot more recipes, a lot more kind of practical things like that. So maybe most of what I saved on TikTok was practical in some aspects as far as being a recipe that I wanted to come back to or an example of music. And we kind of skipped most of that. So maybe I shouldn't say most, I should say many. I'm not actually sure what proportion of kind of influenced aspirational saves I had versus practical kind of utilitarian, come back to this recipe, come back to this music kind of saves. And, you know, maybe I don't want to weaken my argument of how influenced I was on short form media by saying that most of my saves were actually practical and useful. Like, you know, I don't actually know. I'm not going to go look right now. I've been talking for way too long, and it's time to go make and have dinner. So I will have to bid you farewell today. I'm curious as well if you've experienced anything similar to this, going back to content you used to consume, you used to watch, things that you used to find entertaining, and have you stepped away? Have you kind of revisited and had a different feeling about it? Let me know your stories in the comments below. Would love to hear from you, especially on this subject. I find that idea so interesting and find my own kind of changed reactions super interesting as well. All right, bye for now, and I will see you next month.